Hi folks, how you doing? It's James, JT at the movies, and I'm back with you for day 29's vlog. I can't believe we're nearly at the end of the challenge, and I am sorry that I'm bringing you this a day late, but I've had a really hectic weekend with 2 family birthdays and a gig with the band in HMV, no less. How cool is that? There'll be links down to my band's channel where you can see that a bit later on, so have a look down below if you're interested in watching as I was singing in HMV. But that's not why you're here today. You're here to hear me talk about a film that I didn't want to end, and I've picked INTERSTELLAR. So to be able to talk about this and why I didn't want it to end, I am really going to have to go into spoiler territory. I know it's a 10-year-old film, but if you haven't seen it, maybe go see it and come back to the video. Okay, that's your warning. I'll give you a quick recap of the plot so that I can talk about the ending and have it make some sort of sense. The basic plot of the film is that humanity is on an Earth that is dying in the not too distant future, and the government and NASA and basically everybody's trying to find a way to either save Earth or find a hospitable planet out in space. And through sort of some goings on that they believe to be somewhat supernatural, our lead characters of Murph and Coop played by Matthew McConaughey, find the coordinates to NASA's underground base. So they end up teaming up with NASA, and Coop gets enlisted to go on a manned mission into space to check out some planets that may be habitable. It means that he's going to be away from his family for years, potentially decades, and there's a strained relationship with his daughter, and she later forgives him through the use of sort of like video recordings and things like that, and it's a real sort of sweet story. I don't know whether Christopher Nolan meant to do this or not, but the film feels very much influenced and inspired by Contact by Carl Sagan. There's a very strong father-daughter relationship at the core of it all, and the reveal of the film is when they're in deep space and they've ultimately been away decades Earth time because they've had a few mishaps with a planet where things had just gone wrong and there was nothing there, and then they went to go and meet one of the astronauts of the previous mission, and he'd gone completely crazy from being isolated in space and was basically on his own mission and ends up sabotaging them, costing them decades of Earth time. So at the end of the film, they're going through the black hole that they've talked about throughout the whole film that seems to be causing all of everything that's going on in space. And when Matthew McConaughey's character goes through it, he finds himself in an infinite loop of his daughter's bedroom where these ghostly goings-on were happening at the beginning of the film. And he realises through communication with TARS, which is a robot in the film, that it's actually future humans that are communicating through this black hole, and they're helping him understand the equation to be able to save the human race by presenting it in a form that his mind will understand. So he's able to see the time and space as his daughter's bedroom and thinks that he's sort of communicating with his daughter, and ultimately that way, through Morse code and binary, he's able to send her the all-important equations and the life-saving formula, if you like, that ultimately saves the human race. He then manages to get back to the Earth checkpoint at Saturn, where humanity are currently living while they're sorting out where they're going to, where they're going to settle the species for, hopefully the rest of forever. And he's able to reconcile with his daughter, who's now an extremely old lady, just before she passes away. And it's all really, really sweet, and it's got an emotional core to it that you just don't expect. And she sort of says, your mission now is to get back out there into space and catch up with Brand, who's the other astronaut that he went away with, played by Anne Hathaway, who he's sort of developed a closeness with throughout the course of the film, and basically to go and help her and settle down with her. And basically old Murph's message to Coop at the end of his mission is that you've basically given your life and sacrificed watching your kids grow up and everything that you held dear to save humanity. So now go and sort of live your life. And he does. He steals a spaceship and takes his TARS robot out with him and goes off to find Brand on the planet that she's sort of settling and getting ready for human inhabitation, if I could speak. And it sort of ends there, so you know that that's what's going to happen. But the reason I picked this, just like now that we've got to that point, I can sort of talk about it, is I could have happily watched another hour of him getting back to her and them reconciling and them setting up the first bits of new human civilization and them radioing back that it was safe and good to go and whatever else, and that the first human colonists arriving and them building society. I literally could have watched hours more of this stuff, and not got bored. And it's just, you know, the whole film sets you up on such a ride and such you know, an action-filled journey and an emotional-filled journey, and it's visually stunning as well because it's a Christopher Nolan film, and that guy knows how to shoot a film. And yeah, when the credits cut to black after Anne Hathaway gets her sort of reveal that she's set up on her planet and things are going okay, and you know, it's directed by Christopher Nolan, it's just like, I could have quite, like I say, happily sat through another hour, another 2 hours of that, almost to the point where it doesn't need a sequel. Please leave it alone. But if they brought a sequel out telling that story, or multiple sequels, I'd be there watching it, because it'd just be like, I'm invested, and I want to see where that goes, even though I can do the whole headcanon thing and decide where it goes in my mind. I would have been happy just to keep watching that for ages. The similarities and the references to me to Contact, you know, the Carl Sagan piece that obviously starred Jodie Foster, and again Matthew McConaughey, common ground there, were a really nice touch. And I think the fact that Contact is one of my favourite sci-fi movies of all time, and one of my favourite movies of all time, probably really helps me sort of enjoy this one, you know. And obviously Chris Nolan's a great filmmaker and one of my favourites, and it all just sort of marries together quite nicely and sends me on this journey that I don't want to end. So that's why I picked that film. I'd be really interested, as always, guys, to know yours. So let me know down below in the comments what you think of Interstellar, and what film did you not want to end? What film would you have picked for this part of the challenge? If you've enjoyed the video as well, drop it a thumbs up. Lets me and lets YouTube know to keep making videos like this. And if you're coming across the channel for the first time, hi, nice to meet you. Please think about subscribing. It would mean a lot to me, and it helps the channel to grow. I'll be back, as I said at the start of this video, for day 30's film and vlog tomorrow on the 31st of the month. It's a good thing that July has an extra day, so I've been able to contain it within the month, and you'll just have to forgive me for being a day late. But I've really thoroughly enjoyed this challenge. It's been really great to make sure that I'm watching a film every day, and, you know, giving me the opportunity to go back and revisit things that I maybe wouldn't, you know, sort of make a point of going back to revisit, and also the opportunity to watch some things that I've not seen before as well, and sort of, you know, forcing my hand a little bit because I've got to watch something that fits in a niche. And as I've already said a couple of times throughout this series, I probably will do a similar challenge later on in the year, in the early winter months, because I've really thoroughly enjoyed this, and it's been great as well to have the challenge to give me the inspiration as well to make content for you guys. It's been really rewarding and quite cathartic to be able to just sit and talk to the camera about films, because ultimately that's why I started doing this, you know, with this whole YouTube thing. And life just gets in the way sometimes, doesn't it? So it's actually been really nice to have a reason to, like I say, set the light up, set the camera up, and just have a chat to you. It's great. But I will see you all tomorrow for the final vlog of this challenge, and then it'll be back to business as usual: Blu-ray updates, ranking lists, tours around the collection, and ad hoc movie reviews. And I will see you all soon for more of that. Bye for now.